Okay, I promised I'd finish on problem number 19 in the last video. So I'm going to start there and then we'll get into unit 2. So for number 19, again, it might look crazy that there's no numbers, but again, think about where you're doing to the variable a. If I'm looking at it, I see a is being added by b, and then after we add whatever a and b is, we're going to multiply by x. So that means if I think about the order, I'm adding a or b to a, and then I'm multiplying whatever that result is by x to get c. So if I want to solve for a, I would undo that order. So I will divide both sides by x. That would remove the multiplication. I have a plus b is equal to c divided by x. So I'll just write that as c over x. And then I will subtract b to the other side. So that removes this addition. And so now I'm left over with a is equal to c over x minus b. So for these two equations, for 18 and 19, all you're doing is rearranging. That's it. You're just rearranging the equation. That's all you need to do. So this is one way of doing it. There is another way you could do it. I've seen people distribute the x through, so that would be ax or xa plus bx equal to c, and then all I would need to do is subtract the bx. I'm running out of space here. You get ax is equal to c minus bx, and then you would divide by x. So if you got the answer of c minus bx over x, or if you divided both pieces by x, this would be acceptable as well. So I just want to show you these two different methods for that one. So now let's get into unit 2. So I might need to split up this video into 2 parts, just a heads up. So I'm going to try and get through about most of the material in unit 2, but there might be another video going over unit 2 as well. So question 20 is asking you to find the slope of a line that passes through the 2 points. So again, your slope is y over x, or in other words, you're looking at the change. I'll write it out this way: the change or difference between the y's and the difference between the x's. Remember, x's are on bottom. I don't necessarily like to use that formula, though if you would like to use it, you're welcome to. But the idea is, how much did it change between the y's? I can look at 17 and 18 and see, hey, that went up by 1. So my change of y's, the top value, is 1. To go from the x's, -7 to -3, notice that went from -7 to -3. That went right for. The reason why I say right for is think about it as a number line. Here's -7, -3 would be on this side. It had to go right, which is positive. So this would be plus 4. So my slope would be 1 over 4, and that is it. So I prefer doing it in that method, but you're welcome to use this as well. But it's pretty quick if you think about it as how much did it change with the y's and how much did it change with the x's. Okay. So now moving on, 21 says find the slope of the line perpendicular to the line. Remember, perpendicular means that they intersect at a 90-degree angle, and the idea is if this slope is 2/3, meaning it's positive, up 2 and over 3. The other one would have the same numbers, but it would be the opposite direction, so it would be negative. And then the numbers here would flip to be 3 over 2. So we call it the opposite reciprocal. Opposite because it's going the opposite direction of the other line, and then reciprocal is we flip the slope. Reciprocal. I couldn't spell there for a second. So I'm looking at that line. They've given me the slope is 5 over 4. I don't care about the y-intercept. All I care about is this. So if the slope is 5 over 4, the perpendicular slope would be the opposite. So that's negative. And then the reciprocal would be 4 over 5, and you're finished. Okay. Same idea with 22. Find the slope. Well, the slope here is -2, so it's going down 2 for every 1. Let me write that out in this way. Down 2 for every 1. If I flip it and do the opposite idea, it would be positive 1/2. And that's it. Moving on to 23. So if you don't see any points in the line, you're going to have to make your own. And the way that I'm looking for it is I want to see where the line intersects kind of the vertical and horizontal line. So I'm just kind of drawing circles on like we call them vertices of the grid, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for where it matches the line nicely. Like here, that's not a good one. This one's not a good one. This one is. So I'm going to fill that point in. Again, this is not a good one. And then I'll just follow that line until I see, ooh, this one matches. And now that I know 2 points in the line, I can easily figure out the slope because it's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4, and over 1, 2, 3. So the slope is down 4 over 3. In other words, -4/3. Okay. 24, you'll notice this one's a bit strange because, again, you can find a bunch of nice points here. This one's going up 1 for the y, but then the x value isn't changing. And this is the big red flag, is that if I'm divided by 0, I can't do that. We don't have a way of describing that. So this isn't necessarily no solution or anything like that, but we refer to it as undefined. Or in other words, there's no slope. We don't have a way of defining it, so we call it undefined. Okay? Moving on, 25, same idea. I'm going to find some nice points on there. It looks like we're getting a bunch of them. And it looks like we're going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. In other words, negative 1 over 1, which is the same thing as saying just negative 1. And that's your slope. Okay, moving on, 26. Find the equation of a line. So right away, the easiest way of doing this is slope-intercept form, or in other words, y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. So if I can find those two values, then I can easily write this equation. So if I look, I notice that this point actually has a 0 for the x value, and that's huge because your y-intercept happens when x is 0. So really, if I were to plot this point, you would see 0, 11, so it'd be up here, and that would be the y-intercept. So I already have my y-intercept, which is really nice. My y-intercept is going to be 11. Okay, and now I just need to know the slope. So to find the slope, I'm going to do something similar to what I did earlier. I'm going to find the change of the y's. So I'll start with the first y. This is 11 to 19. That went up by 8. So I know the top part of my slope is 8. And then from 0 to 4, that went right 4 or plus 4. So that's on the bottom. So my slope would be 8 over 4, which if I divide 8 by 4, that's just 2. So this is my slope right here. So my equation would just be 2x plus 11, and that would be it for that one. Okay. 27, I want to do something similar, but notice if you look at the coordinates, there's no y-intercept given to you. So I want to use point slope here. And again, if you need a more specific video going over point slope, please check out that Go Formative. So that way you can see a video that teaches point slope if you need to be retaught it. But what I'm going to do is for point slope, it kind of follows this format. I need a slope, and I just need another point to start at. Again, I write in here minus x1, but it doesn't have to be minus, it could be plus, and I'll show you why in a second. So let's first find the slope. I'll look at the first y value. This one went from 1 to negative 5, so that went down 6. So the top part of my slope is negative 6. The x value went from negative 5 to positive 5. So again, that went right. It was negative 5, all the way to 5. So that had to jump right 10. So that would be a positive 10 there. So now I can simplify my slope a little bit because I can divide the top and bottom fraction by 2. So that would be negative 3 over 5. So I have my slope. Now I just need to choose a point. I'm going to choose the first point, and then I'll show you on the second point how we could do it too. So for that first equation, it's y equals your slope. And I'm going to put a parenthesis in there, and now the idea is I want this x value, the negative 5, to go to 0. So how to make negative 5 go to 0? I would need to add 5 to it. So inside the parentheses, I will take x, I will add 5 to it, so that way this goes to 0. And that will allow me to start at the y value of 1. And we're done. That's it. That's your equation. And if you really want it to be slope-intercept form, you would distribute this through and then combine like terms. But for now, we're just going to leave it as such. If I were to do the other equation, so the second one here, notice the slope stays the same, negative 3 over 5. But instead of negative 5, it's a positive 5. So how do I get this 5 to go to 0? I need to take all the x's and subtract 5 by it. So this is x minus 5. So that way we can start with negative 5. So then I'll put negative 5 on the end. And those would be my two equations. And either one would work, just so you're aware. So if we go to 28, notice this one, I don't know what the y-intercept is. They want an equation that's parallel to this line. So again, do I care about the plus 7? No. The only thing I care about is the slope. For a line to be parallel, they have to have the same slope, so I know what the slope is. They've given me the point. So now this is y equals 5 over 3. How do I make 6 go to 0? I need to subtract 6. So I will take all my x's and subtract 6. and that allows me then to start at 10. So that would be my equation, and I'm finished. Okay, if I wanted to write the slope-intercept form, I could distribute that through. I'll show you that right now. That's 5 over 3x, 5/3 times -6. Again, if you need a calculator, you're welcome to, but that would just become -10, just so you're aware. That'd be -10 plus 10, which turns out to be y equal to 5 over 3x. So either of these equations would work, just a heads up. I just wanted to show you point slope again. So look at 29, find the equation line that passes with that slope through that point. Again, I've got everything I need. There's my slope. I'm going to use point slope again. I need 100 to go to 0, so this is x minus 100. And then I can start at 9, so plus 9, and we're done. If you were to distribute to get slope-intercept form, I'm not saying that you had to, this would be 2 over 25x. 2 over 25 times -100. If you use a calculator, that would become -8 plus 9. -8 plus 9 gives you +1. So that would be your other answer there. Okay. All right, let's go to 30. So if I'm graphing this line, I look and see I only have a slope of -3. Be careful. A lot of you are thinking that the x is -3. It's not. This is saying you're going to go down 3 for every x. And notice there's no y-intercept, so we start at 0. So that means if I go down 3, 1, 2, 3 for every x, move over, down 1, 2, 3 for every x, this would be our line. I'll go up 3 in the opposite way just to get another point in there, and that would be our line. So again, we're going down 3, over 1, down 3, and over 1. 31, this one's a little interesting because notice this one doesn't have an x. It's just y is -3, which means we know the y-intercept, we don't have a slope. So I'll go to y equals -3, put a point there, and if my slope is not there, that means the slope is 0. So I'm not going up anything. It's just going to be flat or horizontal. So it's just going to be a flat line at -3 because there's no slope. And the reason why I know there's no slope is there's no x value. Okay, so if there's an x like this one, then I know there's a slope. This one, there was no slope, so therefore it's a horizontal line. Moving on, 32. This one is actually pretty easy to graph if you know how to find the x and y intercept. You could solve for y, but if I'm going to find the x intercept, notice I don't care about the y value. So the x intercept happens when y is 0, so I can ignore that and just think of it as 5x equals 30 for what value of x. This one x is 6, so I'll go here to my 6 on the x-axis. There's my x-intercept. For the y-intercept, notice I don't care about the 5x because again that happens when x is 0. So this is -5y is equal to 30. I divide by -5 and get -6. So I'll go to my y-intercept down to -6, and I know the line will go between them, and we're finished. Okay, 33, same idea, find the x and y intercepts. So this makes it really easy. So your x-intercept is going to happen when 2x equals -30. Divided by 2, and you get x is equal to -15. So I'll write that as a coordinate point, -15, comma 0. There's my x-intercept. Okay. My y-intercept will happen when 5y equals -30. So if I divide by 5, you will get y is equal to -6. So my y-intercept would be at 0, comma -6. And there we have it. Jumping down to 34. If I'm looking at 34, it wants me to rewrite into slope-intercept form. So that means I need to solve for y. So here, if I'm looking at y, I'm multiplying y by -9, and then I have to combine it with whatever 6x is. So let's get rid of this 6x, this positive 6x, by subtracting to both sides. That removes this. Now we're at -y is equal to, I'll write as 18 minus 6x. You can put -6 first, plus 18, that's fine. I'm just going to show you a slightly different version. And then to solve for y, I'll divide by -9, divide everything by -9, and you get y is equal to 18 divided by -9, which is -2. -6 over -9 will become positive because it's a negative divided by a negative. So that's 6 over 9x. Or if you simplified it, you can divide the top and bottom by 3. That'd be 2 over 3. And that's it.